The water is 41 degrees. The boat is 14 feet long. The man inside is 36 years old. His name is John Gregory Tierney, and he is going to drown in the next 90 seconds. He doesn't know it yet. The river doesn't know it. The canyon doesn't know it. 13 years from this moment, his son Patrick will fall from a tower that will be built on top of his bones. It is December 20th, 1922. There is no dam in Black Canyon. There is no Boulder City. There is no road. There is only a man in a boat with a clipboard doing his job. You will arrive in 9 years, 4 months, and 11 days. You are 18 years old right now, hoeing sugar beet outside El Paso for 80 cents a day. You have never heard the name Tierney. You never will. But in 13 years, on the morning of December 20th, 1935, you will be 40 feet away when his son hits the concrete. This is Stokehold. Your name is Mateo Vega. You are 19 years old. It is April 28th, 1932. You have been on a train for 3 days and a truck for 6 hours, and the place where they let you off is called Ragtown. Ragtown is not a town. Ragtown is 1,400 men, 200 women, and 80 children living in tents in the open desert 7 miles from Black Canyon because the company has not built the workers' city yet and will not build it for 14 more months. The temperature is 49 degrees Celsius. There is no shade. The water is brought in by truck twice a day and runs out by noon. In the first summer of the project, 3 men in Ragtown die from heat in a single afternoon. The newspapers do not report it. The company classifies it as exhaustion of unknown cause. You stand at the edge of the camp with a canvas bag and a letter from a foreman in El Paso, and a man with a clipboard looks at you and says, "Mexican?" You nod. He writes, "Vega M. Mucker, Tunnel 3. You do not know what a mucker is. You will in 4 hours. A mucker shovels rock. A mucker shovels rock that has just been blasted out of the canyon wall into a rail cart, which a third man pushes down a track to be dumped into the river. The mucker is the bottom of the order. The mucker breathes whatever air is in the tunnel. The tunnel is called Diversion Tunnel 3. It is 56 feet wide, 4,000 feet long, and it is being dug to redirect the Colorado River around the canyon so that the dam can be built in a dry riverbed. There are 4 of these tunnels. Each one is dug from both ends simultaneously by men working in 8-hour shifts, 24 hours a day, for 18 months straight. The tunnel is lit by Ford automobile engines mounted on flatbeds, with their headlights pointed forward and their exhaust pipes pointed straight into the tunnel. The engines run on gasoline. Gasoline engines, in an enclosed space, produce carbon monoxide. The company has known this since 1925. The company has decided that the cost of proper ventilation exceeds the cost of replacing workers. You learn this on your first shift, not from a manager, from the way the men breathe. You meet 2 men on your first night. The first is Carlos Mendoza, 22 years old, from Veracruz. He has a wife in Mexico and a son he has never met. The second is Wendell Hayes, 28, from Shreveport, Louisiana. Wendell is the man who drives the truck that brings you to the tunnel mouth every morning. Wendell does not live in Ragtown. Wendell lives in a separate camp called Williamsville, 4 miles further out, where the company sends the 30 black workers it has hired. Wendell will not be allowed into Boulder City when it is built. Wendell will not be allowed into the company hospital. Wendell will not be allowed at the dedication ceremony when the President of the United States comes to open the dam. You will not learn most of this for another year. On your first morning, Wendell hands you a tin cup of water and says, "Drink it now, kid. You won't see water again till dark." Carlos laughs. It is the last time you will hear him laugh without coughing.
Mateo, hermano, ya no aguento. Ahora un día más, Carlos. Un día más.
Vega! Mendoza! Back on the line, ándale! Hey.
2 seconds, boss. Man needs water.
By October of 1932, Carlos is coughing. By November, he is coughing dark. By December, he cannot lift the shovel. The company doctor is a man named Dr. McDaniel. Dr. McDaniel does not examine Carlos. Dr. McDaniel looks at Carlos from across a desk and writes the word pneumonia on a form and hands the form to a clerk, and the clerk hands it to a manager. And the manager calls Carlos's wife in Veracruz on the company telephone. In English, she does not speak, and tells her that her husband has died of a pre-existing condition unrelated to his employment. Carlos stops breathing on January 11th, 1933, at 4:40 in the morning in the back of a truck driven by Wendell on the way to a hospital in Las Vegas that would not have admitted him anyway. He was 22 years old. He had a
Sign
wife.
this and the
He had a
family
son
gets
he had never
$50.
met.
Don't sign it, they get nothing.
2
You
days
go back to
later,
El Paso
a man from the
tomorrow
company
morning.
office finds you at the mess hall. He has a piece of paper and a fountain pen. The piece of paper says, in English, that Carlos Mendoza was sick before he came to Black Canyon, and that his passing is not the responsibility of Six Companies Incorporated. The man says, sign this and the family gets $50. Don't sign it, they get nothing, and you go back to El Paso tomorrow morning. You hold the pen for a long time. You think about Carlos's wife in Veracruz, who you have never met. You think about her son, who has never met his father. You think about $50, which is more than Carlos's family has ever held. You give the pen back. You do not sign. The man from the office does not yell. He does not threaten. He simply takes the paper, folds it twice, puts it in his pocket, and walks away. You expect to be on a truck to El Paso by morning. You are not. By morning, you are on a different list. The list is called High Scalers, trainee. High Scalers are the men who hang from ropes on the canyon wall, 800 feet above the river, drilling holes in the rock and packing them with dynamite. High Scalers are paid $5.60 per day, which is the highest wage on the project. High Scalers are paid the highest wage on the project because High Scalers do not last. The man who promoted you did not promote you as a reward and did not promote you as a punishment. He promoted you because the company needed scalers, and the company hired scalers faster than it could replace them. And a 19-year-old Mexican who would not sign a piece of paper was, in the accounting of Six Companies Incorporated, slightly more useful on a rope than at the bottom of a shovel. 2 weeks after Carlos stops breathing, you are 600 feet above the Colorado River, in a leather harness made from a saddle, holding a 44-pound jackhammer in your hands, and the wind is moving you 3 feet to the left and 3 feet to the right, and you are looking at the world the way Carlos never got to look at it. You think, this is the view he paid for. Below you, the river is the color of weak coffee. Above you, the sky is the color of bleached bone. Between them, for the moment, there is you.
Fuego, fuego, fuego! Clear the line! 3, 2, 1! Vega, still up?
Aquí!
The man who trains you is named Patrick Tierney. Patrick is 23 years old. Patrick has been on the project since the first day. Patrick is the foreman of the scalers, and Patrick is the best on the rope. And Patrick does not talk to the Mexican scalers because the Irish scalers do not talk to the Mexican scalers, and Patrick is Irish. Then, in March of 1934, you and Patrick are eating in the same mess hall at different tables, and an old man at Patrick's table says something about a surveyor who drowned in the canyon before the dam started. Patrick says, very quietly, without looking at anyone, that was my father. The mess hall goes quiet. Patrick keeps eating. After a moment, Patrick looks up, not at the old man, but across the room at your table. And he says, to no one in particular, December 20th, 1922, the river took him. Can you believe it? The whole reason this dam exists. My father. Then he goes back to his food. That night, you sit next to Patrick at the bar in Boulder City. Boulder City is finished now. You are allowed in it. Wendell is not. And Patrick buys you a beer and says, you're Vega, the one who didn't sign for Mendoza. You say yes. Patrick says, good. He does not say anything else for the rest of the night. You sit beside him until the bar closes.
This morning I came, I saw, and I was conquered, as everyone would be who sees for the first time this great feat of mankind.
10 years ago, the place where we are gathered was an unpeopled, forbidding desert. In the bottom of a gloomy canyon whose precipitous walls rose to a height of more than 1,000 feet, flowed a turbulent, dangerous river.
Palestine and his fate at all from gaining his graphic.
September 30th, 1935. The dam is finished. The dam is not finished. There is concrete still being poured, and turbines still being installed, and water still being held back by the diversion tunnels. But today, the President of the United States is here to say so. You stand in the third row of the workers' section. You are wearing your only clean shirt. Wendell is not here. The company informed the black workers that their presence at the ceremony was, quote, not required. Wendell is on the access road, driving an empty truck. Franklin Delano Roosevelt speaks for 11 minutes. He says the words, great feat of mankind. He says the words, turbulent, dangerous river. He does not say the words, 96 men. He does not say the names of any of them. A photographer with a speed graphic walks along the workers' row, looking for a face. He stops near you. He raises his camera. He almost takes your picture. Then he pivots to his right by 6 inches and photographs a banker from Phoenix in a Panama hat. The photograph runs in 4 newspapers the next morning. The banker is identified by name. You are not in the photograph. You were 6 inches from being in the photograph. You will think about this for the rest of your life. December 20th, 1935. The ceremony was 3 months ago. The cameras are gone. The president is gone. The newspapers have moved on. The dam is, by every measure that matters to anyone outside Black Canyon, finished. But inside Black Canyon, men are still working. The intake towers, 4 of them, rising 395 feet above the dam crest, are not yet complete. The cranes are still up. The scalers are still going up the rope. Patrick Tierney is on intake tower number 3 at 10:20 in the morning. He is not on a rope. He is on a working platform, 320 feet up, checking a bracket that was reported loose by a welder the day before. You are on the canyon wall opposite, 40 feet away across open air, on your rope, drilling. You hear it before you see it. A rope is making a sound it should not make. The sound is a kind of singing, high, thin. When you look across, Patrick is already past the edge of the platform. He does not shout. He does not reach for anything. He is just suddenly in the air, with one hand still holding a wrench. He goes down the inside of the tower, against the smooth wall, and you cannot see him land. The wall is in the way. Patrick Tierney was 26 years old. The date was December 20th, 1935. 13 years, to the day, after his father drowned in the river that no longer existed. January 14th, 1936, the last pour. There is a section of the inner gallery in the upstream face of the dam that will be covered by another pour the following week and then sealed inside the structure forever. Once that pour goes in, no human eye will ever see this surface again. The concrete is wet. The foreman has gone to lunch. You are alone with a trowel and a chisel and 6 feet of fresh gray surface. You have seen the names other men have carved into other sections of this dam. Initials, dates, hometowns. Some will last. None of them are the name you want. You kneel down. You take the chisel in your right hand. You work for 4 minutes. When you stand up, the surface reads in 3-inch letters. Carlos Mendoza, 1933. Not pneumonia. The next pour comes 40 minutes later. By the time the bell rings for the afternoon shift, the surface is gone. 2 days later, it is sealed behind another wall. It is estimated that more than 200 names are carved into the inside of Hoover Dam. None of them will ever be seen again. You walk out of the gallery. You wash your hands. You eat lunch. You do not tell anyone. Your name was Mateo Vega. You were one of 21,000. The photograph was taken without you. The dam has been there for 90 years. You are not. This was Stokehold.